News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Tuesday on Wall Street, where traders left stocks right at the edge of all-time highs amid some solid earnings reports, although calls for a breather surfaced amid signs of buyer exhaustion. We're going to get to all of that in just a minute. But first, let's bring you those closing numbers. We do it for you each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 pretty much flat for the day. NASDAQ lost 37 points. The Dow gained 218 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 3.95%. The 2-year yield at 3.45%. Netflix says a tax dispute with Brazil cut into its third quarter earnings. Otherwise, Netflix results fell in line with Wall Street estimates, and the company's outlook for the current quarter is largely in line with Wall Street projections. Netflix shares down 6% in the post-market. A big miss for Mattel as third quarter sales and earnings fell short of analyst estimates because of U.S. retailers delaying orders over uncertainty over tariff policies. Mattel shares now down 13% in the post-market. Texas Instruments, the biggest maker of analog chips, gave a lackluster forecast for the current period. That's added to concerns that a chip industry recovery may be sputtering. Shares are down more than 6% in the post-market. The Trump administration plans to buy 1 million barrels for the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve, taking advantage of low oil prices to begin filling the depleted stockpile. West Texas Intermediate, the benchmark for the U.S., is down about 30% since its peak in mid-January, now trading at less than $58 a barrel. Gold and silver saw their steepest sell-off in years as investors locked in profits on concern that the recent historic rally in the precious metals left them overvalued. Gold shares now about 5.5% lower. Silver shares about 7.5% lower. Walmart has paused offers to candidates requiring H-1B visas. Now, sources tell Bloomberg this new guideline primarily impacts Walmart's corporate workers. This is the latest example of how the Trump administration's $100,000 visa fees are disrupting workforces. Walmart is the largest user of H-1B visas among major retail chains, but not nearly as much as tech giants like Amazon, Microsoft, and Meta. Apple's efforts to reinvent the iPad by adding a giant foldable screen has hit a development snag. Sources tell Bloomberg that engineering challenges tied to weight, features, and display technology have pushed its potential debut back to 2029 or even later. Sources say Netflix and Comcast are among companies interested in Warner Brothers movie and TV studios. Warner Brothers Discovery has begun to consider various scenarios after receiving what they describe as unsolicited interest from multiple parties. Geetha Raghunathan covers media issues for Bloomberg Intelligence.
Really, the problem for Warner Brothers Discovery was that they were, I guess the way that people were thinking about it was not everybody was kind of incentivized to put in a bid for the whole company other than Paramount. And this is really the way that they kind of drum up interest from everybody to kind of get that sale process going.
Geetha Raghunathan on Bloomberg Intelligence. Warner Brothers shares gained about 10% in regular trading. OpenAI unveiled its first artificial intelligence-powered web browser called ChatGPT Atlas, designed to be a more personalized web experience. Atlas will be available globally on macOS to start, with plans to expand to Windows, iOS, and Android. In world news, plans are on hold for President Trump to sit down with Russian leader Vladimir Putin to talk about resolving the war in Ukraine. That meeting was announced last week and was supposed to take place in Budapest, but a date had not yet been set. The decision was made after a phone call between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.